topic for today is self-image, and there's a lot of words that start with self, but then it sounds similar. It also means similar things. So let's get the definitions out of the way. So, what's the difference between self-esteem, self-image, and self-worth? Is there a difference, or there's no difference? We just like use different words just because we want to? What's happening there? Okay, Ilakkiya.
So I can easily distinguish between, I know the definition of self-esteem and self-worth. So it's like self-esteem is how much wait, never mind. It's hard to distinguish between those two. Self-esteem, at least for me, is how much you value yourself, right? Based on what you know about yourself, do you think you're a great person, you're a bad person? And to have a positive or negative self-esteem is to focus on your good things, your strengths, and to have a low self-esteem is to focus on your weaknesses. Self-worth, I think, is pretty similar, so I'm going to rely on someone else to distinguish that.
Okay. Sia?
I really like what Ilakkiya said. It is difficult to distinguish between them. I think self-image is limited to how we perceive ourselves. So that's just the act of thinking about ourselves and, the whole perspective that we have on that. Self-esteem is how we value ourselves or how we esteem ourselves to be in terms of what we're good at, what we can contribute. And self-worth is how I believe we globally recognize what other people think of us and how other people recognize our ability to contribute to society. That's how I understand it.
That's actually a great way to define things. Does anybody else disagree with it? If not, we can go to the next one. Deepak?
Yeah, I want to add to that. So I agree with what Sia says. I think self-worth comes down to some way of defining your status relative to others. And that can vary in a local context and in a global context. You might be a great football player and very respected by your team, but you might be a lower level worker in your office, and you might not have a lot of status there. So historically, this has been, we were hunter-gatherers, and then whoever was the strongest and could beat up a lot of people had the highest status, right? And then that changed. Agriculture was invented. We started cooperating more, and it was not so much, there was not as much intra-group conflict, fighting for mates and things like that. Monogamy became a norm. And we learned to cooperate more as a species. And that has led us to a level where we are able to cooperate in large enough numbers to have democracies, to have meritocratic institutions, and so on. And what's happened in more recent decades is that we are not only seeing our own small tribe, but we're able to compare ourselves with basically everyone in the world because of social media. And so our way of measuring our self-worth changes. But then again, it's also become possible to gain status in so many niche avenues these days that is something that is available to more people than at any point in history. Yet the problem is that because what we see on social media is a very curated version of other people's lives, and we see our own flaws and faults in full color. We are comparing ourselves to an image of perfection that does not in the real world exist, and that in itself has mental health implications.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you'd like to see more videos on the topic, make sure to check out our playlist where we answer more questions. We'll see you next time.